Evening, guys. Going to give it a couple more minutes. Still a few people filtering in, so obviously we've still got as committed guys. I can see the names on the side. So if you can do me a favor, just quickly text around, get on the phone, just try and get as many people as we can. I can still see a few people coming through, but this is going to be a regular thing now. I'm really trying to hit home with the importance of this system, this success system, in terms of having the same calls and the same events at the same time every week, because we are the very first people who are starting to bed this down. And I think if this team has a system and people are really promoting it, then it will duplicate. So I'm going to give it another 30 seconds or so before we kick it off. Some good points tonight, hopefully, that I can feed back to you. I've been speaking to Steve Martin a lot this week, obviously with his arrival, 13th to the 15th. So I'm pumped up for that. I'm fired up. Definitely get that in your calendars and your diaries, the 13th to the 15th, and we can confirm that trip's going to be at the Village South in Leeds. On the Friday night, which is even cooler, which we've not actually promoted yet, but I can let you guys know, Steve will be doing a mindset night. Steve has a accreditation with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, and with that, on the Friday night, he's going to do something special. It's not going to be Organo Gold related. It's going to be very much around personal development and mindset stuff. So for me, that's exciting. And what we're going to do with that as well is have an opportunity there to invite your business partners, your prospects down, people who want to better themselves. Okay, remember, we don't have to force anyone to do Organo Gold. You don't ever want to force anybody to do this. Okay, it's finding like-minded people who see something in it and want to make it happen. So big thing about the Steve Martin trip. You're going to hear me say that again and again and again, just how important that can be. The word important there is can be for your business. I myself personally, I'm going to saturate myself in that weekend. He's coming over Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and this is a private call, so we can speak figures. Listen, Steve makes upwards of £100,000 a month in networking. He's done that in Organo Gold in 5 years. So you want to be in and around that environment as much as you can. He's pretty much a master at making it happen in any country he's been to. Steve's built it in Costa Rica and in Asian countries, and obviously in his home country of Canada. So we're not going to talk too much about that. That you should really now hit home just how important that can be for your business, and you want to be promoting that to your team, whether that's through little incentives, which we'll probably make happen this week. But really get your arrangements done for that. Okay, get your hotel spaces booked, being in and around it as much as you can. So the focus of tonight and what I want to speak about tonight as a group is action. Okay, we know now that we've got a great product. Okay, you only have to look at this week in the Washington Post. I think it might have been Shane and Dane who posted it, to see that they're publishing now that coffee is a better investment than gold, oil, and all these other commodities. But with that said, we know how good our product is, but it must be up to us to take the action to get it to marketplace. It's one thing having a fantastic compensation plan. It's one thing having a great product. But how are you taking that to the marketplace? Okay, it's a performance and effort-based business. We say this on every single one of his business presentations, but look around now. Check out the Washington Post. Coffee is absolutely everywhere. But with Organo Gold and what we've got, not only have we got the coffee, but we've got the healthy nutritional supplement of Ganoderma. And right now we've got the economy. So not only can you offer someone a better product, you can also offer them an opportunity. And right now he broke it down, and check out in depth this week's Millionaire Mentorship Call on SoundCloud. John Sartoris, he's from Greece, but obviously he's a Crown Ambassador, which means his business does over $5 million in sales dollars per month. So he's a guy I want to listen to. And what he stated there is right now, networking and what we're a part of is definitely appealing. He's talked about millennials, which is people aged between 18 and 34, who are now following their system, which you're meant to do. And it's like I did, go to university, which I'm not knocking education, but they're leaving now with no real path. Okay, a lot of my friends still have no graduate work or use the degree to any real standard, whereas we can offer them an opportunity to make great money quick. Okay, I've built a great business over 2 years. I discussed that. So He discussed skilled adults. Okay, right now the economy is not the best, and people are losing work, whether they're overworked and leaving, or they simply can't find work to supplement what they were doing maybe 2-3 years ago. So you've got the ability there to start speaking to people, not only skilled up, but looking for opportunity. So for me, as I've said, it's definitely time now to identify what you want. You hear it again and again, and I used to think it was cliche and cheesy when people say to you, well, find out why you're doing it. I guarantee if you had a strong enough why, you'd be sapphire above already. Identifying what you want is crucial. And what is it you really want? You might vague over that. Okay, I spend 30 minutes on a morning, 30 minutes on a night assessing why I'm doing this. Do you know what I mean? Where do I want to go with this? Because it's uncapped. Take this wherever you want to take it. And what I'm saying with what we've got with this opportunity specifically, no bullshit, is that we've got an opportunity to build the brand from the very start. This is not a home. This is not a legacy company yet. You're not looking at your Juice Pluses, your Herbalife, and all these other companies who are doing in excess of billions per year. Okay, you're seeing this 6 years old, 350 million sales, and looking for people now to take that action, to take it to that next level. And it ties back into the very first thing you need to know is why you're doing it. If that's not strong enough, you'll never go out there and take the appropriate action to get where you want to get. You're giving up your Sunday night now. It's 9:10. You must want something that little bit more. The other people, we've got 12 people on the call right now. Okay, not a lot, but enough serious people who clearly want to take that action. The rest are probably watching TV on Facebook, doing what the other people, the masses, are doing. And one tip that I got from Steve is look what the masses do and do the complete opposite. Okay, the masses are going out and partying every weekend. They're on Facebook all the time. They're watching Kardashians, all this stuff. Whatever the masses do, for 18 months, do the opposite. Okay. And that comes from documenting exactly why you want to do this. Steve sent me a great text yesterday. He sent me this. I'll read it out to you. He says, success doesn't have a date. It always arrives on time. So mull that over. Success doesn't have a date. It always arrives on time. So are you putting forward the appropriate action to make this happen? And that starts with rebuilding your list. Rebuild that list, okay, and go out there and start building relationships. Don't just look to build your business on Facebook, okay? Go out there and sample friends with the coffee, sample family, and start reconnecting with people physically, and contact everybody, okay? We ran little campaigns and sample 100 people, and you want to start building a habit of meeting new people. And that is how we market our coffee. We go out there, we meet new people, and we sample them. But don't just dump the coffee on them, okay? We've got the 4 questions for a reason. And I speak to a lot of people who might give out coffee, but are you following up correctly, okay? And I will follow up religiously every single time. And I ask 2 very simple questions. How did it taste? How did it make you feel? Those 2 questions are key, and all I'll ask them moving on, I didn't want to really go into this, I'll ask a few simple follow-on questions. Well, with that said, are you interested in the product, the business, or both? Okay, are you interested in the product, the business, or both? Because if they say the business, you can give them a presentation, okay? And we discussed the sample challenge 100, and make that something you do, okay? Could you sample 2 to 5 new people a day? Okay, could you, and that could be from friends, people at work, people at the gym, people everywhere. And John Sartorius, who took the mentorship call last week and last Sunday, he discussed that this is a guy whose business has done 5 million sales last month. He said that in his first week of business, okay, really talking about not just recruiting people, okay, but building a coffee business, he moved $7,000 worth of coffee his first week. Okay, and what he did was he sampled 19 of his friends the very first day. Okay, he didn't do anything different. John Sartorius didn't have a different product, didn't have a different compensation plan, didn't have a different gold pack. He had the same system, same product. He just took the required action. Holton Buggs said to John on when he got started, he said, If you can deliver 1,000 personal presentations over 12 months, you'll be Black Diamond in this business. And people on the call might think that's a lot of presentations, but if you're asking the question every time you follow up, are you interested in the business? Sorry, are you interested in the product, the business, or both? People are going to ask you for presentations naturally. Okay? And don't think that this is something you can't do. Because, and don't overthink it thinking they're going to be 1 hour presentations. Some presentations can be 10, 15 minutes short. Okay, and we teach following the plan that if you're part-time, which most of you are on this call, you're part-time in terms of you've already got a job that you go to every day. You want to be looking at doing 4 presentations a week. And we do that through the system, which is coffee parties. And most people are just not doing those coffee parties. Whatever you want to call them, CGMs, home events, it's just step 3. And the more of those that I do, and the more that I speak to the leaders and what they've done, step 3 is the secret to succeeding in Organo Gold. And it's small, intimate meetings, 5 to 10 people in a home. You put the kettle on, you share the coffee, you share the opportunity, share a little bit of information, and just don't overthink these. I think most people want the perfect way to do them, and it's just about having fun. Okay, networking and what we're trying to achieve is fun. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about goals tonight as well. And one of my, I only keep 3 goals. Okay, my priorities are on 3 things. If you've got any more than 3 priorities, it's not a priority. And one of my priorities is to be healthy, happy, and stress-free. And networking can allow that. Don't get me wrong, there's going to be times where it's stressful, but it's giving you an opportunity to, as Cannon said on his call, to be ambitiously lazy. So work very hard the front end and take the rest of your life off if you want to. But you've got to go out there, and that ties back into what I'm speaking about tonight. It's the required action. And if the action's not there, it doesn't matter how much you want it or how much you say you want it. It'll never come to fruition. You've got to take the appropriate action. And as I've said, if you're part-time, that means you're doing 4 presentations a week. And the easiest way to do that is through coffee parties. You share the coffee, you share the vision. And we've now got tools that can help you deliver that story in less than 20 minutes. You don't have to be a master presenter. You don't have to be Halton Bugs, okay? You can share the Ground to the Cup DVD, last 9 minutes, it shares the information. So let's make a conscious effort as a group to really build this through those simple systems. And what you want to ask yourself tonight is, do you have coffee? Okay, are you in business right now? We don't just say coffee so you order it. We want you to have coffee to build your business. We say it again and again, we're a sample-based business. We lead with the product because it's sound. We know it's sound. And if you're not doing that, you're going to struggle. Again, have you got flip charts? And this is one thing that I love with networking. Everyone starts at the exact same point. I've already said that tonight, but no one starts any different to anyone else. I've not started any different than Dane. I've not started any different than Janine. I've not started any different than Shane. We've all started with a promotional pack and a willingness to make some extra income and build a business. The only difference is the choices that we're making. And the choice, again, that we're discussing tonight is action. Okay? And make sure you're using the calendar which you teach. Have you got a calendar? Are you using the calendar? Are you planning appointments? Are you booking appointments in the calendar? Because trust me, this company will be the quickest to 10 billion in sales. Okay? The growth rate that's happened with the company over the first 6 years is quicker than Facebook. It took Facebook to get to that level in 6 years. So you're looking at something that's working. Okay, and how much of that do you want? We know that Organo Gold pays 50% back to its distributors. So if you're looking at a company that does 10 billion, that means it's going to pay 5 billion back to its distributors. How much do you want? The UK market, we say it every week in its presentation, it's huge. You've just got to be willing to take that appropriate action to build the brand. I got told a story yesterday regarding Red Bull. Red Bull now such a recognized brand out there. I'm sure everyone on the call's at least tried a Red Bull. And they started their company with no marketing budget at all, 0. And how they built their business was they'd go to race meets, Formula One or race track days, and they would give away free Red Bull to the pit staff, the drivers, and just get people drinking their product. And look where Red Bull is now. Hershey's chocolate bar, okay? I've never even eaten one myself, but I was reading a report yesterday. That does $7 billion in sales. We have a product that everybody is in the habit of doing. Just a case of doing these simple activities over a prolonged period of time and teaching other people to do that as well. And that ties back into the 4 presentations a week. And let's teach everyone the basics. I'm not always a big believer in that back to basics quote, but with this, and the mantra of the company and just what we're about, it's easy, it's simple, it's coffee. I don't care how cheesy that is. It's a fact. And the basics for me is making sure that your new starters are getting dual team, qualified. And that means having personally sponsored someone on the left and personally sponsored someone on the right, and making sure they're doing the minimum of 50. And making sure they're open for commissions, okay? And that ties then into making sure you yourself and your team are set up on the appropriate authorship. And the authorship wants to be, firstly, for your own consumption. You want to be your best customer. You want to be your most loyalist customer. Have you tried every single product? I'm sat here in front of me now with the mycelium capsules and the Ganoderma capsules, which I've yet to try, but I'm using them this week to get a testimonial. And you hear that again and again, and I've never been a big one for pushing that, but I believe in this product range, and I believe that you should at least try everything. You've got people like Rory and Kim on the call right now who are truly products of the products. I love following Rory's posts, and he's just got the pods for the Nespresso espresso machine, and it's great. And trust me, if you're using the product, not only will you feel better and have more energy, you're going to have a personal testimonial. And when you come to talk to someone about it, you're going to have passion. And if you've not tried the capsules, how can you possibly try and move them? If you've not tried the pods, very difficult to sell it. Just my opinion, okay? I'm not saying you have to do that, just my opinion. But as I've said, simple actions repeated over time by the masses will build you to that residual income that you want. So the authorship wants to be in place. Like I said, that's on the 5th and the 15th, and that wants to be for your own personal consumption. So work out how much you're using in and around your household. What we are really promoting, and the leaders on this call tonight who have taken the time out, we're looking at Star Achiever. And Star Achiever is 450 personally purchased points. And we want to get into build the culture of doing that on the 1st of the month. So I'd like anyone who's done that, I'm going to enable the chat box to put your name in the chat box and be recognized, because if you're doing Star Achiever on the 1st of the month, not only is it setting yourself up for win, number one, you've done that, but secondly, you've got the inventory. And that's showing me, when I look at that you've got your 10 customers which you teach, okay? You're going out there and you're servicing customers. You're not just treating this as a lottery ticket. You've got your customers. And when you look at your Star Achiever, you break it down like this. Number one, your personal consumption in your household, which we've said. Number two, how much are you sampling? As I said, we're a sample-based methodology, and most people, I think I've got my guest Roger on here tonight. Roger sampled the coffee and liked it. And we had a conversation, and we've been in contact ever since. And that was simply sharing some coffee. And what I'm saying with this is just a great marketing tool to really start building those relationships. So you've got number one, your personal consumption. Number two, how much you're going to sample. Number three, your retailing. Okay, how many customers do you want? What I love about this, and why I've transitioned from a nutritional shake and multivitamins company to this, is that I do not have to follow up in terms of my customers. And whereas what I mean by that, I didn't really explain that well, is that I can have as many retail customers as I want with Organogold, because I'm happily service as many as I can, because it doesn't really require much of my time. I've got over 50 retail customers who just buy the product off me every single month. They don't want to know about the business. They don't want to become members. They just want to buy the product because they love the taste of it and love how it makes them feel. And the fourth part to the Star Achiever and why you want to be setting yourself up on the appropriate is wholesaling. Okay, in the 4-step system, step 1 teaches that you must wholesale new members 2 boxes. So if you're setting a standard to bring people in, right, you want to bring 2 to 5 new people in a month, then you need to make sure you've got enough stock to get them started. David Immunite shares a story that you're 1 or 2 people away from this really kicking off. Trust me on that one. You're 1 to 2 people away from this going to the next level. Are you ready for that event to take place? If you get the call today saying, listen, I'm in, I've booked a coffee and jazz mixer, or I've booked a business event, I've got 50 people coming, and your order ships on 1 box. You've already drank 5 sachets. What are you going to do? You've got to be ready for that day. You've got to be ready for that explosion in your business. And if you're just, I'm being honest tonight, I'm going to have a straightforward training. If you're just treating it as a lottery ticket and you've got that 1-2 boxes a month, okay, you're just doing the minimum to get your commissions, are you going to see the next David Immunite? Okay? Are you going to see the next Steve Martin? Are you going to see these people? Because they're not going to give you anything you can't handle. Okay, and as I've said, small actions repeated over time, and this will start building rhythms in your organization. Trust me, I've seen it. It will start building rhythms, and your team will do what you do. You can't promote things that you're not doing yourself. Your team will never do what you don't do. So from that, we tie that in. You've got your superstar achiever, which means you've got 4-star achievers personally sponsored in your organization. At the minute, I've only got 3 personally sponsored, so I'm working on that myself. As I've said, the people who have taken the time out tonight, we want to be looking for that sapphire rank. Okay, and that sapphire rank is 14,000 group volume and 2 consultants left and right, and we want to put a date on that. So that's the second thing I'm going to ask you on the call tonight, is to put in the chat box, what's your date for sapphire? And getting people started. Let's move back to that, and getting people started effectively with the simple steps. We need to make sure that we're doing the basics, but getting them some success stories. And for me, the most important success stories to generate is the first 7 days, the first month, and making sure you get their first commission check as big as you can. Okay, and as I've said, my goals always is within the first 7 days, upgrade to gold. Get that gold pack, because that means you're setting yourself up to win. And this is I want you to write this down, and this is a promotion for all the team, that in January, anyone who in your group who's relatively new, or basically in their first 60 days of business, if they promote to gold pack in January, there's going to be a special personal development bundle that I'll put together. So a nice incentive there to make that jump, okay, make that commitment to your business. I'll repeat that. Anyone in January who upgrades to the gold pack, Rory killing it. Well done, my man. Hey. Anyone who upgrades to that gold pack in January, I'll put together a personal development bundle. So promote that to your group and let people know about that. So going to talk a little bit more about events, okay? And as a group, we've not necessarily got that many events going on yet. And we want to make sure that we're doing that. And tips that I teach about the event is you've just got to be willing to do them, show the initiative, and never stop doing them as well. Because a home event culture will take your business to the next level. And once you start committing to those and doing those with purpose, okay, believing they're going to work, having the vision that it's going to duplicate, and being around it time after time, and letting you know and your team know that I'm not treating this as a lottery ticket, I'm treating this as a business, and as a network marketing lifestyle, it'll start paying you that way. And you've got to go out there, okay, and you'll see it again and again. You've got to really serve the team, serve your team, and go out there and make that difference, but do that with a disciplined mindset. And let's make sure that we teach the majority of his team how to really go out there and only make that extra £500 a month, because that's what most people are looking for to when they get started. How can you get those to make that extra £500 a month? And we want to really make sure that we build that culture, getting people paid and promoted as quick as we can, doing it on a part-time basis through coffee parties, through CGMs, and these sort of people, listen, they're going to be doing the 4 events a week. They're going to probably enroll 4, 5, 6 new people and teach those to do the same, and that's teaching to teach, and that's really realistic. Yes, we want the big incomes. Yes, we want Steve Martin's incomes and all humbugs, but we have to make sure that we're doing the basics and we're doing what this session's about, and it's that required action. And ask yourself the question, how much action is it going to take me to get where I want to get? Okay, we've got two people now who have committed to Sapphire. Ask yourself what realistic action you're going to have to take to make that happen. And for me, our job, you know what I mean, it's I call it a job, but what it's about, and you want to know that. And for me, it's number one, network marketing is about marketing. So there's 3 points to that I see, and you've got to market yourself, you've got to market the product, and you've got to market the opportunity. And I say this and write this down in capital letters and underline it as many times as you can. Be the messenger, not the message. Okay, you just want to use little tools like three-way calls, Skype with me, and home events, and using that edification that we talk about, not to blow my own trumpet or anything like that. It's just the three-way system of credibility works. I've got friends who, no matter how successful I am, they will never, ever listen to me because I'm just Josh from school. Do you know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. And the second job of a network marketer is to enroll other people, okay, and service customers. So you want to go out there, enroll other people, and that follows on to the third thing that we do is we then coach and we train those guys to go out there and build a huge community of coffee drinkers and business builders. And that's what it always comes back to. Alton Bugs explains it perfectly. There's 2 things that we do. We build a community of coffee drinkers, and then we enroll entrepreneurs to go out there and build a bigger community of coffee drinkers. And our business is, simply put, is the home events, is the CGMs, the coffee parties, and make these fun. Okay, I said it again, do not overthink these things, okay? 30, 40 minutes max. Check your calendars. In your calendars, it explains, I've got one in front of me now, my monthly achiever. It explains perfectly how to do the CGM. It talks about the timeline. It talks about hosting it. It talks about the presentation, closing, enrolling people, okay, and simple 4 steps if needed. But be willing to read through the information. We've set up ogdavecafe.com, which you'll see is our training platform, and we've got the Elite Network group. We've even now got getting started PDFs. So just make it known in the chat bar if you're aware of these new PDFs and you're using them. Okay, so in closing, I'm going to share a little bit of audio through Tony Robbins, a mentor of mine. And we're not going to keep you too long tonight. I'm going to quickly close on a little bit more information, so maybe 5-10 more minutes long. So I'm going to quickly play this for you guys to take a listen to. It's basically about the 3 steps to achieving a goal.
People ask me, what's it take to achieve something? As you know it, anything you've ever achieved, what'd you do? 3 things, I think. You got obsessively focused on it. You knew what you wanted. You couldn't let it go. You were so hungry for it. You thought about it constantly. It gave you the drive to do something, at least to think constantly about it, right? And unleash your own capacity. And then what's step 2? It's if you got enough reasons, if it drives you enough, you're going to take massive action. Massive action to cure all. Because if you do enough massive action, you'll eventually get to the second part of that, number 2, which is it's massive action and effective execution. Yeah. If you keep doing it, you fail and learn and step up, and fail and learn and step up, you're going to figure it out. And then all that's wonderful, but then there's also grace. Some people call it luck. Some people call it God. I think of it as God or grace. I think it comes to those when you're really trying to serve, and it may sound melodramatic, but in my life, there's been an unbelievable amount of grace.
Again, what I see is all these super achievers and all these people who have made something happen in their industry. You heard the word there, massive action. You hear it again and again and again, the word massive action. So I don't have to bullshit nobody. Okay, if you want to make the big incomes and you want to make that step up, sooner or later you're going to have to pay that price. And the price for me is just committing to those 4 presentations a week. Okay, making that commitment to that. And you want to start now. I want you to write down your top 3 priorities with your Organo Gold business. And for me, number 1 wants to be making sure we're doing those home events. Okay. And the second priority would be making sure we've got us 10 customers. So start thinking about your top 3 priorities in your Organo Gold business. And from that, then start tracking those actions. So how many samples are you giving out a day? How many home events are you doing a week? How many invites are you making to the launch calls? Okay, remember, as launch calls are every Monday evening, 9 p.m. and every Thursday evening at 9 p.m. An opportunity to get people to listen to the information in a non-pitchy way and get people excited about what we're doing. Okay, how many invites are you doing? Are you keeping in contact with your group? Are you inviting and promoting events? Okay, remember, one tip that I will give you, and one tip that's really helped me out is focus only on a few things. I think you can definitely sometimes in business, if it's new, you can get overwhelmed. You can try and take on too much, try and do too much activity or not necessarily too much activity, sorry, but too many different things, and not just focus on the main thing and make the main thing the main thing. And as I've said tonight, I hope it's sunk in that the main thing for us is going to be home events. Okay, we're making sure we're prospecting every day through sampling and adding to the list, but we've got a culture of small group presentations, maybe 5 to 10 people who are seeing the coffee, they're trying it, and they're seeing the opportunity. So what I'd like you to do tonight is obviously we're all members on the call tonight, is write down your 3 strategic priorities moving forward with Organo Gold. And what I'd like, if you want to, this is totally up to you, it's then put those on the group so people can see what your priorities are. Not only would I like seeing, but I'm sure it will inspire and motivate the group to do that a little bit more. And for me, that's in closing pretty much what we need to start looking at. And in closing, what I will share with you is the importance of Steve Martin's arrival. And I can't stress enough what I recommend to do. It's making sure you're stopping in that hotel the Friday night, the Saturday night, and get yourself home Sunday, because you're around a winner, you're around a champion, you're around someone who's flying in from Canada to make this happen. So he must see something in what we're doing. And let's make sure that we show up in force, we show up with passion, and we bring people to it. Because if you've got fence sitters and you've got people who are thinking about doing the business, they've been maybe putting it off or what I call incubating, they might be using the coffee but thinking about it, I believe that weekend can definitely change your business and change your life in moving forward. So guys, really appreciate you taking the time out. A little bit of managerial stuff before we close off. Remember the Upgrade to Gold promotion. Upgrade to Gold pack in January, new stars, is going to be a personal development bundle. Do not forget the Steve Martin the Steve Martin weekend. And next launch call will be tomorrow, 9 p.m. I'll put the link on straight after this. And our local meeting in Castleford at the Wheatsheaf is now on Tuesdays. Tuesday, 7 p.m. start. And let's start looking at setting up these other local meetings, okay? But trust me, there's no need to do local meetings until you're doing the home events. The local business meeting will be buzzing if people are doing the home events. So guys, have a great Sunday. I didn't want to keep you too long. It's been 35 minutes. Hope you took some value away from that. I really appreciate any feedback. Remember, it's easy, it's simple, it's coffee, and let's go out there, build the brand, 1 cup at a time, 1 sample at a time, and 1 home event at a time. Guys, really appreciate your time, and we'll see you all at the top.